All right, here we go. We talking about sports podcast live, baby. We are live tonight. We got Ron. We got Ron joining us tonight. Locked and Leans in the house with us tonight, baby.
Yes, sir.
Ron,
first time, man.
Yeah, well, first time going live for sure. But you've been on the podcast with us before.
Yes, I have.
Tonight, bro, we're pretty much just gonna talk nothing but NBA, strictly NBA talk tonight. We got a pretty big game 3 on our hands here.
Shit, it's on. It's on right now.
Yeah, so it just started, correct? I'm here too.
Yeah, I got it's 14-8. Clippers are up with 7 minutes and 54 seconds. 14-10 now. Ayton just made an and one, and he's at the line. Those jerseys are fresh, bro.
Which ones?
The Suns jerseys. They're clean as hell, man.
Like I said,
it's like a fluorescent orange, and then they got the Jordan logo. They look super clean, man.
Jordan pretty much took over the league, huh?
I think so. Most of them have it. I know some of them still have like on the other, I don't know if it's maybe instead of the Jordan, but they'll have like the Wish or like the Honey, or like Milwaukee has the Harley Davidson logo.
Right. Well,
I don't know if that's the opposite side of the Jordan.
Those are just the sponsors. Yeah.
There you go. The sponsors.
Those are like the team sponsors. But for the most part, it seems like the jerseys, they're no longer Nike. Everything's pretty much Jordan now.
I got to get. The first time I saw them was at the All-Star game 2 years ago? Like the all white.
Right.
Those were super clean, bro.
Yeah, the icy whites. No, and yes. I think that the Hornets were the first ones to start it. Obviously, he's the owner for the Hornets, so they were the first ones sponsored by Jordan.
Are you live on Facebook?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, okay. Because I don't think we're streaming on Facebook yet.
No, I don't think that we are. I need to. Okay, here we go. Go live.
Yeah, we can share it. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, Booker's got the mask.
Yeah, well,
the clear mask.
He broke his nose, no?
Yeah, bro. Steve Nash all over again. Yeah, that way, if we go on Facebook, I think. But will we be able to see the comments on Facebook? Will they come out here on the StreamYard?
Yeah, they will.
Whenever you guys do it?
Yeah, okay, they'll come out in the comment section, and I'll have to pop them out live. I already thought that we were live on Facebook, but we're not. I'm getting an error message, I guess, because we were scheduled to go on there.
We'll set it up again, because everybody's going to be looking out there. Because I don't want to just run the show back.
No, I know. Hold on. All right, there we go. I believe that we are live now on Facebook as well.
Let me check it out.
This is my first time doing this. Usually it's Justin or Roland.
Justin runs everything?
Yeah, bro. Justin's got us on lock usually.
Where's he at?
There we go.
Oh, yeah,
we're live. We are live. After some technical difficulties, folks, we are live. Yeah, but anyways, we talking about sports live. We're here live for Game 5. We're going to talk some basketball. We got Ron joining us tonight.
What's up?
Ready to have
my
some
bad.
fun,
I'm just sharing this. I'm sharing this because
No,
this is like my first time, and I know everybody's waiting, man. Everybody was waiting, not for me, but for the trash talk.
So, well, who's gonna get trash talk tonight, or what?
Whoever wants to smoke, bro.
Oh,
whoever wants to smoke.
Gotta like that. Well, let's talk about this Game 3 first of all. The Suns, the Suns and the Clippers. Obviously, the series is 2-0. Going back to LA, going to Clipperland.
Yes.
We saw that they barely took the last one by 1 point. The Suns at home. Obviously, Chris Paul returns tonight for the Suns. The Suns were 1.5 point favorites. Point God, correct. The Suns 1.5 point favorites. Do you look? Listen, the Clippers have been down 2-0 the first round and the second round. Then they've gone back home, taken care of business, and evened out the series. How do you see tonight's game going? Did you have anything on it? Did you have a lean either way?
I did. I on my Twitter, locks and leans right there.
On the board.
I put the house, man. Put the house. Put the kids' college tuition on the Suns.
The ranch.
Yes, I understand. They semi got lucky with the miraculous play, the dunk at the end for game 2, but they didn't have Chris Paul, man. So you have that Clippers team playing against the Suns now with Chris Paul at only a 1-point favorite. I mean, I understand they're playing in LA, but Chris Paul is the best player on the team. He's the captain of the squad, and you get him back and you only have them -1. I understand they're on the road and it's tough for the Clippers to go down 3-0, but no Kawhi, which is the key.
Were you surprised to see that? Obviously, did you think Chris Paul was going to miss a little bit more time? I expected him to miss more than 2 games.
No, man. I knew he was going to come back as soon as possible, especially when the Clippers went to game 7. That gave him a couple extra days. So I figured he was going to come back, and he wasn't going to wait. A lot of people were saying, oh, the Suns are up 2-0, so he doesn't have to play game 3 because he's going to have more time.
Correct.
But I mean, I was like, no, dude. I mean, this guy is a veteran in the league. I don't know the stats. I don't know how many times he's been to the Western Conference Finals, but
I believe it's once before.
I mean, and it's his 15th year in the league, 16th year in the league. So he's going to want the opportunity to play in the Western Conference Finals.
And on the road, you got to think CP3's veteran leadership and his ability to control the offense, set up plays. Obviously, Cameron Payne has played out of his mind, bro. I mean, I think he's put everybody on notice. We're no longer going to remember him as Russell Westbrook's dance partner back in his OKC days, or that terrible stint he had with the Chicago Bulls. But with the Suns, I mean, he's on one. He's on one right now with the Suns. Mm-hmm. So getting Chris Paul back and then getting that ammunition of campaign off the bench, I mean, it's only going to help the Suns more. I agree. I think that the Suns do win tonight. The score right now, the Clippers jumped out early, didn't they?
Yeah, but the Suns came back. It's in commercial right now, so I'm not too sure what the score is. But I mean, on the other side of the coin, we can talk about Chris Paul coming back and how much he adds to the team, but you have to look at the Clippers from the Clippers side. How deflated do you think they feel after losing game 2 in the way that they did? PG had a solid game, but what ended up happening? Playoff Pete choking at the end.
He messed up all that street cred that he got off the Jazz series, or what?
Yeah, man. I mean, it was in 30 seconds at the line, he threw it all away. He threw everything away. I think I put it on the Twitter too. He's choking like Papa Doc on 8 Mile, man. He's choking. He's choking. I mean, you go to the line. Okay, he misses. I mean, one, you're like, okay, screw it. He missed one, but he made the other one. They're still up 2. The Suns are going to need a 3 to win. But but man, bro, he misses 2. I mean,
not la cagó.
I mean, bad, and going back to our point, I think they're going to be shook. And I know they're at home. They have the crowd, but it's like when the Cavs played the Warriors and J.R. Smith didn't go up for the shot. And then they went into overtime and the Cavs went back to the bench and they just looked defeated and overtime hadn't even started yet. Right. And that's what I think that the Clippers might feel tonight. If the Suns jump out to an early lead in the first or second quarter, say the Suns are up 10-12 at half, I mean, they're going to be.
You could see them packing it in. You could see them packing it in. And the thing for them too is you got to think Paul George has to have a big game, and obviously he chokes at the line with those 2 free throws. And you think, I mean, if Paul George is who I don't even want to say who they say he is, because people don't speak very highly of Paul George as it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if he wants to kind of silence his critics, I guess that's the way I could put it, then he's going to have to come out tonight and ball out. I know his points, rebound, and assist prop was set at 44.5.
Ooh, that's hella high, bro. Understandably so, but
you expect him to have 30 if they're going to win, at least. You know what I mean? But then between their rebounds and assists, over 14 and a half, still kind of tough. I agree with you, bro. I mean, I think with CP3 coming back tonight, it only gets better. Stick around. I think for the Suns on the road, stick around. You know, you got to feel out that away crowd. It's your first game in that building of the series. Right. Obviously, first game back with CP3, so the rotation is going to switch up a bit. But stick around, and in the second half, I mean, the Clippers are pretty deflated, man. They're playing a shorter lineup. You got 2 or 3 guys coming off the bench minimum, and like we said, if Paul George isn't going to close the game out in the fourth quarter, who's going to do it? Reggie Jackson? I mean, I like my odds. I like my odds. And all credit to Reggie Jackson because he's been balling. He's been getting his 20 points a night. But to close out the series or close out a game, nah, Reggie. Reggie don't got the juice.
Ooh, somebody just went down for the Suns hard.
Jay Crowder got elbowed in the face. It doesn't even look like the elbow hit him. Looks like he kind of sold it, to be honest.
Typical Jay Crowder. Hey, let's shout out everybody in the chat. I didn't see it. I just clicked on comments and shit, man. We got a nice little crowd. Gene,
they're asking where the killer light is at, cuz.
Ray.
They see you with the chelada, the Modelo chelada.
Ooh,
Alan says Clippers ain't a young.
Switched it up.
Yeah, Alan says Clippers ain't a young squad, so I'm sure they will bounce back with a vengeance. But regardless, it still has to take a mental toll. For sure. I mean, look at the toll that it took on the Sixers when they were blowing them leads. Obviously, it hurt them. Look at the toll it took on the Jazz when the Jazz blew that lead. And then Game 7, they ended up getting dealt with. So I agree with you. And mentally, if Paul George is the captain and the leader of that squad, like I said, man, everybody's been shitting on Paul George. I mean, I don't know if we can find a Paul George fan. I'm not going to say in our comment section, but you're going to have to look long and hard, man. It's like looking for dinosaur fossils to find a Vato wearing Paul George shoes nowadays.
Especially after Zion tore them all up. When Zion popped out those shoes.
hey, that's when everybody should have known that the PGs, they ain't built like that.
Do not cop the PGs, man. But going back to your point, you know, if you're the Clippers and you're down, and who do you look to? When you had Kawhi, you could sit back and be like, all right, cool. Like, you know, Kawhi's going to take over. I can count on Kawhi. If you're on the Clippers squad and you turn and you see like, man, I got to give the rock to Paul George so he can make a play, you just don't have the same confidence, man. For sure, and then you see all these young cats on the other side of the floor, you know, like Cameron Payne right now who's balling out, and, you know, Ayton who's balling out. These are all young guys, Booker, and you're just like, damn. You know,
they're all killing it. They're all killing it. Now I'll ask you this:
the Clips are up. Live score 20-19. Clippers are up first quarter with 3.5 to go.
It's early.
Yeah, it's early.
And you got to think the Clippers are going to give you the best punch the first quarter, the first game at home. But I'll ask you this: so Kawhi's done for the series, correct? Because if he didn't play tonight,
I don't know. You would probably know.
No, I mean I'm not a doctor either, but I'm just saying, like, just out of kind of common sense and the way the scenario played out. If he didn't play tonight and they're down 0-2, their first game back at home, and he was ruled out, you got to think that maybe he just can't go.
I wouldn't. I mean, even if he's 60%, 65%, maybe even 50%. I mean, look at how the Nets had Harden out there. I mean, he was just a body. I mean, Harden was just a body out there, but it's semi-help because he did draw a little attention away. So I totally agree with you. If you're Kawhi and you're at least 50%, I mean, you have to at least be a distraction out there. Ray said, is Booker going to ball out with the mask, or is it going to give him trouble? To me, I think maybe it'll give him trouble. I don't think he's ever worn a mask before, and he's not a guy, at least from what I know, who puts up, 35, 40 points a game. And with CP3 coming back, I don't think he has to ball out, so I don't think that much pressure will be on him this particular game. So I don't think he's gonna ball out, and I honestly think that the mask might give him a little bit of trouble because I don't think he's ever played with it.
When you wear a mask, you remember the games where the Vatos wore masks. We all remember the LeBron mask games from back in the day.
The Kobe mask too.
The Kobe mask. We remember Rip Hamilton. Obviously, he wore it all the time, but usually when players have the mask on, it's the way to distinguish them. Shit, ESPN's gonna lead off with the NBA game anyway. As soon as Scott Van Pelt comes on.
for
But
like 30 minutes, and then
they're
like the
gonna
other
see
30 minutes of
D-Book.
the show is just like little clips.
They're gonna see D-Book with that black mask. I got D-Book hitting some big buckets in the fourth quarter tonight, man.
Well,
And
hopefully, because he hasn't started off hot.
now, when players wear the mask, they get remembered. Those games get remembered. Everybody's gonna remember that game, and he might be wearing it for the rest of the series because his nose looked pretty.
Dude,
he looked like he had been in a UFC fight. To be honest,
it was bad.
Pat Bev's a dog, bro.
Pat Bev is overrated, bro.
Well,
he hit a couple late. Step back book. He's off, bro.
Ron, overrated. You can be overrated and still be a dog, bro. Pat Bev ain't gonna back down. He's gonna get under your skin. He's that guy you hate if he's not on your team, but you love him if he's on your team. That's who Pat Bev is. I'm not saying he's gonna win games for them, but he does the nasty shit that has to happen throughout the game. The shit to get under people's skin, to get them a little bit uncomfortable. That's what Pat Bev does, and he does a good job.
Yeah, but to me, that's not like everybody's like, oh, he's a great defensive player and he's going to, be one of the greatest defensive players of all time. I mean, distinguish a great defensive player and distinguish just being a pest and being a pain and getting under your skin.
I'll agree with you.
Rudy Gobert, Giannis, those are, great defensive players. Yes, they're big guys. Pat Beverly's small.
And I'll agree with you. He's a pest. He's a pest, but he's first team all pest, cuz.
First team Necio.
Hey, if
there was a Necio squad, okay, who's your top 5 and maybe some of the guys in here? If you had starting 5 Necio squad, who's on there? Pat Bev.
Pat Bev's the captain.
Pat Bev's the captain.
He's
Who are the other
captain.
4?
Draymond a huevo.
Draymond a huevo.
Hey, that's a team you never want to play. It's like when you go to open gym and you're playing that team full of football players and you don't want to play them because all they're gonna fucking do is foul you, and then you're gonna call foul, and they're gonna complain that it ain't a foul because they don't know how to play. But Pat Bev's the captain of the Necio team.
For sure. Look at Allen. And look, Allen already threw it out quick. Raja Bell, Bruce Bowen, Tony Allen, Rasheed Wallace.
Allen's talking about.
Hey, Meta World Peace.
Meta World Peace.
Oh, Dominic Ron Artest.
Hey, but Allen's talking about Hall of Fame team Nesters right there. We're trying to find some guys in the league right now, Allen, that people just dislike playing against.
Who else, man? Who else could you put on your all defensive Nesio team?
Like Tony Allen would have been a guy we were talking about all time. Like
Clay, can you put Clay in there? I mean, I know he's hurt; he hasn't played. He's more just like fundamental defense.
For sure.
Kind of.
You're talking like the Morris twin, like kind of dirty, bro. You're talking about guys that are. Remember when Morris stepped on Luka's Achilles last year in the playoffs, and people were like, "Yo, this guy's got to be suspended." He fucking went at him. Relax, guys, relax. Hey, let's get off of this series and let's go to the Eastern Conference Finals, man. That was a big surprise yesterday. Hey,
I was kind of dreading this because I have a little. Oh man, I don't want to say it, and I don't want to talk about this person.
That's a good one for the All Nesio team right there, Josh. Boogie can be petty as fuck.
Yeah. Hey, Boogie, like first game, throws down a dunk and just throws a fucking elbow and shit. Like if he's been playing all year. Oh, Dellavedova. There you go.
Hey, Deli's on the bench somewhere. He's one of those bench mobs. He's on the bench mob for some non-playoff team. But getting back to the Hawks and Bucks series, Ron, what do you think? Yeah. Hawks win game 1. The series today opens up new odds. So the Bucks were minus 450 going in for the series to win.
Jeez,
they lose. They drop game 1. The price comes out today, and it's Bucks minus 200 still to win the series. Obviously, game 2 is a must-win for the Bucks. But did it surprise you that the Hawks steal yet another game 1? Game 1.
Hell yeah, and you're right. It's the third game 1 that they steal. And I'm just going to put it out there already because I want to get over this. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't want to mention this person on this podcast anymore. But I have to put my tail between my legs, take my cap off.
Because I'm becoming...
No, I can't take it off. I'm becoming a Trae Young believer. And Marky Garza, You know, if Markey was in the NBA, Markey would be on that on-national team, the defensive
For
team.
sure.
But Markey
all he
guards
can
up.
do is take charges. Ain't shit else he can do.
I gotta give him props, bro, because he was on the Hawks since the beginning of the year. Didn't you and him make a bet?
We did about the season win total. But listen, Markey also had them losing to the Knicks in the first round. So let's not give Markey that much
credibility gone. All credibility is gone for Markey.
Look, we were all on the Knicks bandwagon besides Roland in the first round. I think everybody was pulling for the Knicks. We all wanted to feel like we were from New York with how rowdy the fans were getting. but Trae Young took care of him, and Trae Young, hey, bro, like you, I think I'm becoming a fan. I don't know, maybe.
And I'm becoming a fan because of like I like it how in the post, like I like Embiid when Embiid does his post game press conferences, and Trae's just like he's just there and he's just like I don't care, you know, like I'm gonna play the way that I play. We have confidence, and he's just like I don't care. I'm gonna shoot when I shoot. I'm gonna drive when I want to drive, and I'm gonna do this. His attitude towards the game is what's making me like him. I mean, I'm one of the guys who was like, he's just another wannabe Steph, and you know, he's just chunking up threes, and he really doesn't have an all-around game. But what I think his line was 48, 11 assists, and 9 rebounds or 8 rebounds last game in 41 minutes. He almost had a triple-double.
He went crazy.
I mean, KD put up 48 before overtime, I think it was, and everybody was like, greatest player on the planet, KD. And then you have Trae doing it in game 1 on the road. I mean, and he's like in his, third year? So
and his first playoff run ever, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Lou Williams said when the playoffs started, he said, yo, Trae's been waiting for this. He's been excited as hell to have his first ever postseason. And right off the jump, you saw them have to go into New York and take it all from the fans. Fuck it. We're going to take it
MSG.
all.
MSG. One of the toughest places to play. Right.
It doesn't get bigger than that.
But it didn't face him, bro.
What did it for me was that alley-oop, bro, in the second quarter. I mean, we were back playing NBA Street. That's insane. That's all-star game stuff. That's preseason against the Shanghai Knights. That's what you do. Like that summer open gym, those Black Ops gyms, you don't do that in the Eastern Conference Finals, fam.
Oh, no. On the road against the second seed.
And John Collins knew it was coming. He said, oh, yeah.
Side note, bro. John Collins is balling too. I mean, not a huge name. And that's another thing too, is Trae's getting it done with, I mean, no other big names, no other big all-stars.
Kevin Huerter.
I mean, Huerter, you know, John Collins. And that's because they lost Cam Reddish, and who else did they lose?
Cam Reddish did come back, but I thought it was Hunter, no?
Yeah, Hunter. They lost Hunter. They lost Reddish. I mean, you know, and those are not huge names, but some guys who could help out the teams. The Clippers are up 29-21 at the end of the first.
Little run from the Clips.
Little run from the Clips at the end. But yeah, man. I mean, going back to your point, I just don't know, because nobody expected the Hawks to come out and win another game on the road. And then on the flip side, just how we talked about the Clippers. I mean, if you're the Bucks, why do you think that the Bucks just have that little, you know, I guess I don't even know what to call it, but they just can't get over the hump.
Well, I mean,
it's like PG. Nobody has confidence in PG. Why don't people have confidence in the Bucks? Why do you think you look at the Bucks and say, yeah, they're the second seed. Yeah, they have Giannis, you know, reigning MVPs and all this stuff. But why don't you have confidence in the Bucks to say they're going to go in and they're going to win in 5 or win in 6?
Well, I had the Bucks winning this series. I had them winning in 5. I said a gentleman's sweep. However, do I think after the Hawks took game 1 that they go out and win 4 in a row? No, I don't think that. But I will say that, are we saying that about the Bucks? Because getting past the Nets, I feel, is kind of getting over a hump. Like that took, you got to think that took it took KD's toe being on the line, fam. Like you got to think about all the relief that they were able to breathe out after they reviewed it and KD's toe was on the line and they were able to escape that game 7. So game 1 is when the coaches try a lot of shit out. We saw some guys getting minutes in game 1 that probably won't play throughout the rest of the series. I mean, they had Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis in there at the same time the Bucks did. Like
I don't know why I don't
No,
know why Brooks on the
and
court.
that's when Trae Young's doing the Zeke. He's just
Yeah,
Chingo's a cereal, baby. Chingo's
for
a
sure.
cereal.
He's getting
So
fed.
I don't think that the Hawks win the series. Obviously, that's why the Bucks are still minus 200, man. But I want them to win the series. I really do, bro. Just because this fool Trae Young, you said he's making you a believer. I think I'm
He
becoming
is.
a stan over here. I don't know. I don't know what's happening, but the dude in the fourth quarter, as long as the game is close, I was talking to Camarada Bridgewater earlier about this. He said, yo, he could be cold. He could be 3 for 17. But if the game's close and there's 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, he's not even going to hesitate to shoot. Fam, he was shimmying in the middle of a 1 point game. Like, what happens if you shimmy and then miss the three?
Yeah. You're going to get clowned.
You're number one on Shaq and a fool. You're number one on Shaq and a fool.
First take, Stephen A's gonna murder you on first take.
But you shimmy and make it.
I mean, you don't see that. You don't see, like, they did the pick and roll. Portis never came out, and he didn't take the shot, right away. He had the mentality to say, "You guys are really gonna leave me open? Let me dribble." Let me pick up the ball. Let me look at it. Let me shake and let me shoot. Like, the mentality that you have to have on that stage to be able to do that. And that's what's making me like him, bro, is he's just playing the game his way. He's not listening to anybody. He's not changing his game for anybody. I mean, Kevin, I don't know if he wins, new nickname, Port Arthur, Trae the Truth. From Texas.
Right. And I said that. I was like, yo, Trae is the truth, bro. I know we already have a Trae. And he's got all the sauce, bro, because that alley-oop, that shimmy, I mean, he's not hesitating at all. And like I said, I wasn't a big fan because ESPN used to have the Trae tracker whenever Oklahoma would be playing on ESPN.
Yeah.
And it'd be
they would measure, no? They would measure how far his threes were.
But it would also be the score, bro. Like, they'd have OU against Texas, the time and the score, and then on the bottom they'd have Trae tracker just with his stats, bro. Like, it was OD, it was too much, but only 3 years in, still on his rookie contract. And Ron, let's get to another aspect of this, but everybody thought the Hawks fucked up trading Luka for Trae. I know you're a Luka guy.
I am.
You're a Luka guy. Yeah. So it's looking better for the Hawks.
It is looking better for the Hawks, but at the same time, you have to look at it and say, look at everybody around Trae. Yes, they're young guys, but they're contributing a lot more than what Luka has in Dallas.
Well, I mean, but we also spoke about it, and we said, like, it's not big name guys either that the Hawks have. It's just guys stepping up in big time moments. Porzingis is a bigger name than anybody that the Hawks have on there.
Yeah. But Trae says it in his post game interviews. He always says, we just believe, and maybe that's it, bro. Maybe they just don't care. That's how I see the Hawks playing, is they go out there on the court and they just don't care. They don't care if it's a playoff game or game 2 of the regular season. They're just gonna go out and they're gonna shoot and they're gonna play their game. And with confidence like that, I mean, you don't think that anybody's gonna beat you. For sure. 29-23, clips up, 10 minutes in the second. Oh, man, his floater is deadly from all spots. Bridgewater he hit the nail on the head with that one right there. He dropped some crazy floaters yesterday.
And then when they jump on the floater, he throws the alley-oop to Collins or Capella. It's a double-edged sword. It seems like he's really figuring his game out, bro. And we also saw the NBA do away with that leaning into a player shit, and they specifically said Harden and Trae Young were the two biggest offenders.
Yeah, Harden's like the worst, though.
Well,
come on. I mean, if we're talking Trae the truth, and we're speaking truth here. Trae versus Devin would be a fun series to watch. That would be. And a lot of people, I think there was a tweet, right, that said, like, who wants to see this, like, Hooter versus Book in the finals? But man, the more games that I watch, wouldn't you like to see that? I mean, I don't really care for seeing the Clippers in the finals. I would rather see Trae.
Oh, for
You know,
sure.
and this
No,
young Hawks team.
but
I mean, can you say that it's the NCAA Cinderella story?
it pretty much is. I mean, and the crazy thing is, Ron, before the playoffs, you saw a lot of people putting these crazy betting slips in for the Hawks to win the title. And people were talking about good luck, you're flushing your money down the toilet. Que esto, que
Imagine,
lo
bro.
otro. Shit. Now it's not looking too bad. You gotta
I wonder.
now you gotta just be thinking about hedging at this point.
I wonder what the lines were. I mean, off the top of your head, what do you think, or what does anybody here think that
I believe
Hawks
it was,
to win?
I believe it was plus 2,500.
Jeez, bro, a bill wins you 2,500.
Right. I believe that's what it was. So they're in it. I mean, still underdogs, I get. And what the Bucks must win, right? And do you think that they get it done game 2?
Judging by the Hawks stealing game 1, I just don't know what to think, man. I really don't. And Stephen,
and they have you befuddled.
a believer, man.
They have you befuddled, cuz
I know. I don't care, bro. I'll go get a Trae Young jersey at the end of the year. But no, man.
Hey, Ron, you don't hesitate getting anybody's jersey.
I don't care, bro. I love jerseys, man. But Stephen A said, he goes,
"Whoa,
Kyrie doesn't go down. Kyrie doesn't go down, huh?"
No, I thought you said Stephen A said Booker's Kobe.
Oh, I don't know. That's a little too much.
Stephen A's been saying a lot of shit lately, cuz that's why.
Well, he did make a point because he said if the Nets wouldn't have lost Kyrie, the Bucks wouldn't be here. So
if the Lakers don't lose AD, maybe the Suns aren't here.
Yeah, but I mean, I think his point, and it kind of coincides with your point, is you're asking me if the Hawks are going to win game 2. So it kind of makes sense if the Bucks shouldn't even be here, then that kind of says that the Hawks should win game 2 because the Hawks deserve it. They're the ones earning the wins.
I feel you, but the Bucks just up and down, they're just a better roster, and it's another home game. That game was close. Yeah. That game was close.
And it shouldn't have been, though. It shouldn't have been close.
No, it shouldn't have been close because they had the Hawks down about 7 or 8 in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. And John Collins hit that big corner 3. Then Capella gets an offensive rebound and a putback with his left hand. Like, they could have packed it up, the Hawks. And being the young team that they are, think about it, fam. Lou Will's the vet on the Hawks. Yeah. Like, we're talking about lemon pepper Lou. Camarada that left the bubble in the playoffs to go see ass and titties and eat some wings. That's the bet on the squad. You know what I mean? We're not talking about Tyson Chandler here or some of these other guys. It's Lou Will's the bet.
Lou Will's. He was, 6th man of the year just 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
6th man like Lou Will.
Yeah, just like Lou Will. Just like Lou Will. The Suns coming back, 26-29, 10 minutes left. But, what I'm excited about, man, is that you don't have the big names left. You don't have the LeBrons. You don't have the AD, the KDs. All this huge. I mean, Curry. You don't have all these. Someone's going to
win their first championship this year.
Yes, and it's still exciting and it's still fun, and we're still here talking about it because I think this is going to go into your next point because these young stars are coming up and they're. I mean, we don't have the guys. I mean, yes, I would love to see LeBron. You would love to see Harden. Those were the guys that were playing on their prime when we were really heavy into the game, which we still are now. But these next generation of kids,
that's what we grew up on. That's what
that's what we grew up on. But these young guys are still, out there, and we're still watching them, and they're keeping the fans for the NBA. We're not going to stop watching just because LeBron's not in or just because, Harden's not in. We're still watching because these guys are exciting, man.
Right. And what I was going to say, just as a Rockets fan, it's crazy that the Rockets, they had Harden, they had Capella, they had PJ Tucker, they had CP3. 3 out of those 4 guys are in the conference finals, and Harden ain't one of them. That's the crazy part. But with the discussion about the young guys, so I'm going to put this up.
Dude.
So I saw this on Twitter. Camarada sent it to me, and it said rank them 1 through 4. So on the screen and in the comment section, you all give us your rankings as well. Yeah. We got Donovan Mitchell, we got Jason Tatum, we got Trae Young, and we got Devin Booker. Obviously, guys that we feel are going to be the future of the league. minus Luka. I think Luka's excluded. I feel like most would probably think he's better than these guys, even though some of these guys have had more success than Luka. The truth is kind of in the pudding with Luka. I guess we can all see it. But ranking these guys 1 through 4, Ron, what are your thoughts here? Mitchell, Tatum, Trae Young, and Booker.
I'm gonna give you my first glance rank because I did it like this. I did a first look, like you sent me the picture and you said rank them, so I ranked them right away, and then I kind of sat and I thought about it. All right, and then I thought about it. So I'm gonna give you my first look, my first glance first, and then you give me yours, and then I'll tell you mine. So
gotcha.
You send me the pick, and I said, screw it, I'm just gonna rank them right away. So at first glance, I said Spider Mitchell, Tatum, Booker number 3, and Trae number 4. Because I wasn't on the Trae train. And you know that.
But this was hours ago, como quiera.
No, I know. But I mean, it was just, I was just, still just like, okay, boom, this is like what I think. This is what I have been thinking.
Gotcha.
So I had Spider 1, Tatum 2, Book 3, and Trae at the very bottom at 4.
All right.
And you?
I had Trae number 1. I had Booker 2. I had Mitchell 3, and I had Tatum 4. I have been known to maybe possibly be a Tatum. I wouldn't say hater. I just like Jaylen Brown more than I like Tatum. But I'm looking at success based on the postseason, and like that's people are gonna kill me for that because Tatum just had a 50 piece on the Nets and won a game. But Trae Young is what makes his team go. Definitely, I think out of all 3 of these guys, I think Trae Young is the most valuable to his team. Because if Trae Young wasn't on the Hawks, I think the Hawks would be one of the bottom 5 teams in the league. And I think well, yeah, for sure, bottom 5 in the league. So originally, I just went Trae number 1, I went Booker number 2, I went Mitchell 3, and I went Tatum 4.
Okay.
So after you thought about it, how'd you go? And I'm gonna be pinning some of these comments up of what people are saying. Sure. So we got Booker, Young, Mitchell, Tatum. Somebody else who's got Tatum at the end. Mm-hmm. Josh, Booker, Tatum, Mitchell, Trae
at the end. Okay.
Booker seems to be at the top. I think this shit was from me having Tatum at the end right here from the Celtics, man. Another Booker at the front. Damn, you're disrespecting the fuck out of Trae. Listen, I love all of y'all, but damn, Trae at the end is crazy.
Trae 1. What you drinking, Ben?
Hey, fuck, I'm Bud Light, so I can't be that bent. Like,
hey, you take the picture off now.
All right. Let me take the banner off.
And then we'll put it up again, just so people know what we're talking about. Trae.
So we saw a lot of Booker 1. We saw a lot of Booker at 1. Booker, for the most part, was 1 or 2 on the people who did give us their list. Booker was at the top of most of the list. And crazy that Booker was the lowest draft pick out of all of those guys.
You see, the thing about Book is if he doesn't have that bubble here, I mean, are we even talking about him? Like
what about this year?
Does he go off?
What about
this year? Yeah, he's been killing it, but
I think Book
31-33, man. This game's good.
I think Book made his name. I feel you about the bubble, and you're not going to want to hear this based off who you're a fan of, but that closeout game against the Lakers was something else, man.
Yeah, it was.
That closeout game against the Lakers, he couldn't take a 3 that wasn't going to go in. He was pulling up from everywhere. I mean, he made LeBron retire the number 23, sign it, give it to him, and the next day switch to number 6.
Easy.
So after
I was a Book fan. I mean, I will say this. After you thought
about your list, though, Ron, after you thought about it, did you tweak it?
Yeah, definitely. I tweaked everybody but my top guy because I'm a big fan of this guy, man. Spider. I still had Spider at 1. Okay. The reason I have Spider at 1 is because he does have an all-around game, which all these guys do, but he can shoot like Dame for sure. Tatum can't shoot like beyond the arc. I mean, kind of, but he doesn't have that range. Tatum doesn't have that.
I agree about the range. He can shoot, but he don't have the range.
Did you see him the last series?
No, I'm talking
He
about
was.
Tatum. Tatum can shoot,
Yeah,
but he
Tatum.
doesn't have the range.
Yeah, he doesn't have the range. Book can shoot too, but Book, I don't know if he has that range. I mean, he was a killer in college too. And he can drive, he can dish, and he has defense as well. I mean, Spider is just a hustler. He's one of those guys that can get on the floor and he can guard, anybody. So I still have him number one. He's the point guard too, which, I mean, I am a little biased, toward the point guard at the top of the list because they dish, they drive, they give assists, but he's a smart guy too. You really don't see him, having too many turnovers. And he's somebody who you're down to, you feed him the ball. I mean, all these guys, feed him the ball at the end. Yeah, he's a closer. You're not afraid to give Spider the ball. And he's just an all-around hustler, man. I just love his game. I'm a Spider fan, so that's why I had him at 1. Gotcha. And then I had Trey jump all the way from the bottom of my list to number 2.
Boy, Trey.
So he went from 4. People. He went from 4 to 2 on my list. He doesn't care. I think I'm gonna make a shirt
it's hot as fuck in this room, and I'm over here cold, baby. Trey.
He doesn't care. Obviously, he shoots the 3. I mean, the thing I liked about him too, which I just started noticing this postseason. I don't know what game it was. He had in the first half, I think he had 6 points or 7 points only, but he had 9 dimes. So he finds a way to stay involved, even though it's not just offensive. He just finds a way to stay involved, even though he's not shooting either mid-range or threes. He just finds a way to stay involved, and he gained the confidence of his team. Book, he's not. I mean, Book is an option, but you could also pass the ball to Chris Paul, or you could dish it inside to Ayton. Trey's the guy who you give him the ball no matter what because you have confidence.
And like Mitchell, I think they're
yes.
I know people will say Tatum is the guy too, but you could give the ball to Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, he has it in him too. These guys are just it for their team pretty much. Yeah. We need a bucket. Trey Young's got to be the one shooting this bitch.
Yeah, and then you take Spider off of his team, and it's kind of the same thing. I mean, who do you go to?
We saw them lose game 1 to the Memphis Grizzlies without Mitchell, and then Mitchell came back and boom, 4 in a row.
And then he got and then he got hurt at the end of the series, and they had trouble winning. So anyway, number 3 is Book. He's smooth. I like that he doesn't hesitate. I have him as the mid-range god. Because those little drives, man, he has that little elbow jumper, the little fadeaway. He gets to his spot, and I mean, he's a killer. He's a killer from the mid range. He's not a small guy either, and I like that he's smart. He doesn't really push the action. If the shot's not there, he'll dish it out to create something else. And then I have Tatum, at the bottom because he's just.
Me too.
He can't carry his squad. I feel, you know what I mean? I feel like if his shot's not falling, he kind of just whatever. I don't care. And you can't give him the rock and yes, just like you said earlier, he took over a game. He dropped 50. But I just don't know. There's just something about him, man, where. You give the rock to Spider, something's going to happen. You give the rock to Trey, something's going to happen. Booker, same thing. You give the ball to Tatum, and it's let's just see what he can do.
I agree with you. Listen, I'm a big Dookie in college basketball. I was a Duke fan, and I wasn't that big of a Jason Tatum fan when he was at Duke, to be honest. Obviously, a one-and-done season, but it was how I was with RJ Barrett. They're good, and obviously he's leaps and bounds better than RJ Barrett. But I don't know, man. My list, I did it originally, and then I looked back at it, and I was like, I still don't really like Tatum. He's still foreign.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, man. You're right. I mean, and that's because compared to all these guys, he has the size just the way that Luka does.
He is the tallest guy of all.
Yeah, he's taller, he's bigger. I mean, he's got the size. I mean, he should be able to post up, which the other 3 guys, maybe Booker can, but he's a guy who you could post up on the block, and he's a guy who can play the perimeter game too. So you would think with his size, he should be number 1, but he doesn't have that. And his first year in the league, his second year in the league, he was playing well. I mean, the Celtics made a deep run.
Right.
But now when he's kind of the main guy on the squad, I mean, where are they at? They barely made the playoffs.
They did. So, and Jaylen Brown got hurt. I mean, I rest my case on Jaylen Brown. But I agree, man. I think that Trae Young has definitely has he taken the leap to superstar? I know me and you are sticklers
Yes.
for
the star,
for the
superstar.
for the line between star and superstar.
Yeah,
Ron,
elite
I think
and great.
I think it's safe to say Trae Young is a superstar, bro. This playoffs has made him. He's a household name now.
Yeah,
he is a household name.
He's the one who's going to start coming out in the commercials. All that shit.
They got to fix his hair before they put him in the commercial.
I know, man. That's like the only knock on him, bro. Is just like, what are you doing with that hair?
They're gonna be like, yo, Trey, we want you for this commercial, fam, but you're gonna have to be in a costume, and the costume has a wig.
or give him a hair commercial. Like if he's a spokesperson for like Rogaine or
wasn't Ginobili one for like Head and Shoulders for a while?
Maybe. Well, I was gonna go to like Troya Palomalu in there with the guys with the hair. So
get insurance on Trey's ugly ass hair.
Hey, 35-35.
Yo,
tie game. Very low scoring game too. So
why lie? Hey, Trae Young superstar star, Ron. I want the official stamp here. What is it?
Trae Young is a star right now. At this point, he's a star. If he gets past the Bucks, he's a superstar. Because I don't put the superstar stamp on just anybody, man. You know that.
There's a handful of superstars in the league.
There's like elite guys, and then there's stars and there's superstars. Spider is still a star. Trey's still a star. Luka's a star. Tatum, Luka.
Ron, don't bullshit,
Very close, but not superstar yet. Because if he was a superstar, he would have gone past that first round after winning the first 2 games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I love the honesty, brother. I appreciate the honesty.
Yes.
So these young guys, I don't even want to ask you if Zion's a superstar, because as soon as I say Zion, you're going to say a huevo.
Oh, man. I get a little tingly feeling when you say Zion. So Mark said he should be the spokesperson for Moco de Gorilla.
Hey, and just to touch up on the Zion subject again, I know that we talked about it.
My boy, bro, my boy.
But now that I have you on here, bro,
let's do it. Let's talk about Zion.
After a week and the rounds in the media of Zion and his family and what they want for him, you don't have the rank and the pool. Superstars call those type of shots in year 2.
Okay.
You don't let no rookie comes in right away and says, yo, that's 2 years. I'm done. I can't finish these last 2 on my rookie deal.
Okay, I'm glad that you brought this up, because I kind of have a strong opinion on this. The way that the game is changing, the way that it's evolving into a players' league, players saying, I don't want to play on this team anymore. I want to go here. I want to go there. Harden, prime example. I don't want to be in Houston. I'm out.
How many years does Harden have in the league? We can't compare a 2-year guy to Harden.
Right. I understand that. But what's happening is a lot of these younger guys are seeing the old vets be on teams and not win and not get to the playoffs and not get all that extra money. And they don't, they're saying, hey, you know what?
There's not a lot of old vets not getting to the playoffs besides Steph Curry. Because let's be honest, all right? The vets are getting in there.
But what I'm saying is just the way that the game is evolving. I could see this happening. I mean, my favorite player, LeBron, he spent shingles of time in Cleveland, never won. And I understand
shingles of time. We don't even want this guy to spend shingles of time there. We want him to spend his 4-year rookie deal there. That's it.
But guys don't want to. But I'm saying
it's like going to boot camp anymore. It's like going to boot camp before you go into the military. Like, you got to get prepped up for the league.
But I mean, Zion's ready, bro.
Well then get your team into the playoffs if you're ready, Zion.
He's ready. He ain't
Come
got no
on.
squad.
He
He got
ain't
all the
played a-
Lakers
he-
leftovers.
He ain't played
got
a full
fucking
season yet.
the worst ball. Well, the second worst ball brother. There's only 3, right? But he got the worst ball brother. He got Josh Hart. He got Brandon Ingram. All the players that the Lakers didn't want.
Those are all better names than what Trae Young's working with right now.
Facts.
Okay.
True. But Trae Young handles the rock 80% of the time.
Well, tell
Zion's on the block.
Zion's on the block. And Zion can shoot.
If he works on his jumper, he'll be killing it next year.
I want to
you want him to put in his dues.
I want to feel like Zion is being held back. That I don't feel like Zion's being held back right now. I feel like, yes, he's the best player on his team, but he could be available more to his team. And I think if he's available more to his team, they win more games, therefore get into the play-in. I'm not let's just be competitive here. You know what I mean? Yeah. We all like Stan Van Gundy. We don't think that he's a bad coach, right? I mean, I don't think that Stan's that bad of a coach. It's just maybe the Pelicans. Obviously, they need a point guard, and I mean, obviously, Zion he's going to be in the league, and he's going to be one of the faces of the league. But let's have some success, guy. You know, let's.
And it just sucks, man, because so many games were super close, man. They were losing. I think they had the most losses within 5 points or something like that. And at the end, they were still there to get into the play-in, and they couldn't get over that hump, man. And I would have loved to have seen Zion in the playoffs this year, but
the play-in, at least.
There you go. Yeah, play-in. But I just think that's the direction, man. That's the direction in where the league is going. Is that these young guys, especially if they're highly recruited, and they're everywhere, and they're huge names. I mean, he made the All-Star game already.
Yeah, no, you're right.
He should have been in the dunk contest, but he's already an All-Star, and he just feels like, you know what? I don't want to waste the first. I mean, I know you said rookie deals are only 4 years, but hey, I don't want to waste my 4 years.
He's 20.
No, I know, but the 4-year rookie deal, maybe he's saying, hey, I don't want to waste 4 years somewhere I'm not going to win.
Maybe for his 21st birthday, he can request a trade or something. But right now, you can't even drink, Zion. So you're not going to convince me that your years are going to waste if you can't even have a beer yet. How do you see it playing out? Does he spend his 4 years there, or does he get his way out?
Yeah, no. I mean, he spends his 4 years there, but I think he's doing it because at the end of those 4 years, everybody can, in the offseason, it's going to be the big offseason story. Right. Where's Zion going to go? Is he going to go or is he going to stay? So he's already kind of lighting, the fire a little bit to say, hey, when my 4-year rookie contract is over, get ready because I'm not guaranteeing to sign an extension. So I think that's maybe more of what it is, or go out there and get a big name. For him. So.
It's a 2-year rollout for his free agency. Oh, y'all better start bidding. They need to get him over to Dallas or to New York, man.
Just somewhere, man, where and
where he has a ball handler?
I don't know off the top of my head, but what's the average? Maybe somebody in the chat knows. What's the average career in the NBA? I know we have the Kobes and the LeBrons and the Chris Pauls who play forever, but a lot of these, we have seen a lot of big guys come out of the draft, number 1, number 2, number 3 picks, and they don't play very long. Maybe because they're not good, but injuries can happen. They get sidelined for a year and then they get hurt again and then they're out and then. So
and Zion's a heavier guy, obviously a guy who dunks a lot, jumps a lot, and puts a lot of weight in his knees. So already coming in, Embiid. And Embiid's playing on a torn MCL. Played on a torn MCL. But the thing that I will say for Zion, he is going to have a shorter life than all those guys. We're not going to see Zion play 15 years in the league. Mm-hmm. My guess off the top of my head would say that the average lifespan for an NBA player is 5 to 8 years, I would say.
Yeah. And then, so it's 5 to 8 years and his rookie deal's 4. So that's essentially already half of his career. So you get 4 years stuck on a team that drafted you that you don't want to be on, and it probably isn't good because obviously they drafted you high because they suck, and then you have another 4 years to go to a contender and win a ship.
But why not turn a team around like John Morant did or like Trae Young did?
It's just different, bro. I mean, John Morant and Trae are point guards. It's easier for them, in my opinion.
Embiid.
Yeah, but okay, the process. You want another 6 year process?
That I will give you. We definitely don't want him wasting that much time.
Yeah,
Yeah. So hey, well let's close this out. We're coming up on an hour here, and it's about to be halftime. So
it's actually perfect, man. You said you wanted to just kind of watch the first half.
The first half, for sure.
It's been an entertaining first half. 48-44, 15 seconds left. Clippers have 4 on the shot clock. They put up a 3. It gets blocked.
Yeah. So a 4-point lead for the Suns going into half.
Yeah. Let me see. No, shit.
No, that was the Suns shot that got blocked.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Come on, cuz damn.
George just took it to the hole. Oh, Book heaves it. 48-46. So if the Suns were what? The Suns were +1 or -1? -1 for the game.
Yeah, -1.5. So they were like -1 for half. So they barely hit the half. It's gonna be a good game. We'll see if they can pull away in the second half. But let's just close out with some of the coaching hires. We know Rick Carlisle was the hottest name in the coaching market after stepping down from the Mavs job. A lot of people linked him to the Boston Celtics because those were his playing days. He played for the Celtics. But he ends up ending up back in Indiana with the Pacers, a job that he had prior to going to the Mavs. So he's the next Pacers head coach. What do you think about that? I think that he fits right in there.
Where, Carlisle going to Boston?
No, he went to Indiana.
Or Indiana?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, man, I don't really follow too much of the coaching situation. So. I mean, I could honestly care less. The only thing I did see, though, to kind of go along with your story on the Mavs is that Jason Kidd's the front runner to get the head coaching job there. I did see that.
Where's that, at the Mavs?
Yeah.
Okay,
and it just came out today before the game.
And we do know that we heard Dame say that he had Jason Kidd as his preference for the next Blazers head coach, and Jason Kidd turned that down right away. He said he wasn't interested.
Going to
Portland, yeah. Now the finalists for Portland are Chauncey Billups and
Chauncey, man. I wouldn't mind seeing Chauncey.
No, he deserves a chance. But Becky Hammond, right? Is that the Spurs coach?
Chick, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know I'm on Facebook Live and I just said a chick, so
I didn't want to get in trouble either, Ron. But that was my big. I said, and I don't care. I said hire Becky Hammond for Dame, who hasn't been able to get over that hump, and the next day he'll be requesting a trade.
Yeah, that's not gonna get Dame to stay. And I know. I mean, J. Cole put him on his album, and he's like, this is what I wanted. This is why we're here. Blah blah blah. About Dame being in Portland, but if you want Dame to stay, man, you don't get him. That kind of coach. And that's nothing against the women coach, but you got to bring her in with like a fresh young squad so they can grow together.
The Magic need a coach. The Timberwolves need a coach. There's plenty of, but you don't go do this with a playoff ready team and a guy who you don't want to, a bad season or two. And that's a guy who you could say he's going to waste wherever he may be. Yeah. And he goes and jumps on a contender, puts him over the top. Oh, yeah. An automatic contender. So a guy like Chauncey would make a lot of sense. And I at first my gripe was she'd be a first-year head coach, but so would Chauncey. So that shit goes right out the window.
Yeah, but Chauncey's been in the league. He's been around. He's
a champion. Player. He's a Finals MVP. And she might be in the WNBA. She might have all the accolades plus more that Chauncey had. But Listen, it's not the
bro.
time and the place. It's not the time and the place.
Look, you see all these guys getting arrested for, weapons and drugs, and, Gilbert Arenas bringing a gun into the locker room all these years back. And, they did it with guys as their head coaches and guys as their GMs. I think if you bring in a female head coach, you're going to give these guys free reign, to do whatever they want. I mean, she's not even going to be able to be in the locker room after the game or before. I mean, that's just being honest. I mean, how are you going to be in the locker room with the guys?
Team meeting in the tunnel. Get dressed.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, y'all get dressed and do whatever you got to do, and then meet me in the tunnel. And then after the game, after like a tough loss or like a big win, how are you going to go in the locker room and celebrate with the guys when they're trying to change and take a shower and stuff?
I mean, but to be fair, media.
Becky with the good hair. Hey, get Gabby out of here, Ben.
Hey, she at least has fire comments. But I mean, to be fair, the media members have females, and they do go into the locker rooms and ask questions afterwards if dudes are in towels or not. Listen, she probably will be the first ever NBA female head coach. Mm-hmm. This is just not the job, in my opinion. There's the Blazers job. It's just not the one. The Blazers, I don't want to say they have a window, but they have a superstar that if they get the right pieces, they can have that window. And I don't want to speak for Dame, obviously, because I don't know the dude.
I don't know why he's staying, bro. Just, yes, I get it. He wants to like ride or die with his squad, and he's not one of these guys that's gonna leave for the money. But I mean, you want to be a guy who's never gonna win a ship, and be that guy. By all means, be that guy. But just, I don't want to hear him, I mean, he's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, would you put Dame in the Hall of Fame?
It's too early to talk about that.
Too early to tell?
For him, for sure. Too early.
And then also, dude, Dame's a guy.
Bubble MVP doesn't get you into the Hall of Fame.
Dame's a guy. If he gets hurt next year, and he's out.
Hey, Ron, we don't want to start predicting injuries.
No, I don't. I'm just saying he doesn't have a lot of time left. I mean, he's a youngish guy, but he's not,
But he's got the jumper, and the jumper will keep you in the league for a while. True. He's got the jumper in a limited range. We got to give Dame that. He is one of the better clutch guys. Sure. You just hate to see that him and CJ are pretty much
in the finals.
Like CJ McCollum is pretty much a poor man's Dame Lillard, and you can't have the same player but a poor man's guy as your second best star. You just can't do that. So, I mean, I know Zion wants a big market, but shit, Zion with Dame would be a hell of a fucking show. No chance he ends up in Portland. Renee Ramirez is part of the job like she's never seen penis before. Hey, we like the honesty, Renee, and I mean, it's true. Like we said, it's just not the right spot. She will be the first female NBA head coach. I just don't see it being here. But Ron, let's go ahead and sign off, man.
Man.
I appreciate you coming on. I know it was short notice. No. Justin had a family emergency. Roland had plans that he already had planned prior to this, so they couldn't be with us. I kind of called you on the fly.
He took a shotty to Kona Grill or whatever you do in San Antonio.
Yeah.
No, man, but this was awesome, especially. This was my first time just one-on-one on the show, and this was my first time doing a Facebook Live. So whoever came in and was here for 2 minutes or 20 minutes, I mean, thanks, man. I mean, it's really cool. I got the Twitter. And got the Locks and Leans. If y'all want to go follow me on Locks and Leans, I mean, we post plays there. I know you guys post plays on the We Talking About Sports.
Yeah, we recently started that TikTok and Instagram page. It's actually been doing pretty good, and we've been posting some winners, baby.
Man, if y'all would do a show, you need to have the We Talking About Sports
like the
show or
Daily
like a
Wager show or what? Like I know you're a big fan of ESPN's Daily Wager show.
Dude, I love the Daily Wager. I love my sports line. Guys, I was killing it, and then I kind of got a little greedy with the Sixers Game 7, and I kind of lost most of my bankroll there. But I mean, I would love to do a betting show. But besides that, my dad's got his show, the hashtag PBT. I know Rini watches the show. He was a guest on the show, so shout out to him. But I mean, right now it's all about We Talking About Sports, man. And you and Justin, and especially Roland, I mean, have a great podcast. And I mean, you guys can see it not only here on Facebook, but anywhere the podcast is available. The other day, at work, when I was driving the mail truck, hey, I threw it on and shoot, an hour and a half, 2 hours. I mean, I love to hear y'all talk about it. So especially the basketball segment. So We Talking About Sports podcast. I mean,
yeah.
Do that, man. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for the live chat. Thank you, Ben, for having me on the show. And shoot, man, whenever you want to do this again, I'm ready.
For sure, yeah. And every time you come on, Ron, we've had several people also start listening to the pod because we've had you as guest or PVT. Some of the PVT listeners and watchers, you've plugged us a couple of times, and they'll come over here. I know Mark Chapa is one of the guys that you brought over, and he's actually chopped it up with us. Talked. We appreciate Rennie.
Good guy, man. Good guy. Mark's
yeah,
really cool.
we appreciate everybody coming over here talking some sports. We're here to cagar palo, talk sports unfiltered, not this ESPN stuff. Puro Paul Pierce on IG Live aquí, camarada.
Wow, okay. I mean, the guys on ESPN, I mean, that's what they do for a living, bro. I mean, we got other jobs, so this is just stuff that, we do on the side, just to kind of, BS and stuff. So
and living in New Braunfels and you in the Valley. I know Justin's in the Valley.
That's dope. Speaking of, we will be linking up next week. So you never know.
I think 2 weeks from now. No, we're gonna go live from inside Minute Maid Park, baby.
Yes, bro. Yes, yeah. Hey, next week, man, y'all be on the lookout because we'll be. Well, yeah, pues ya, no. Pues next week, ya casi.
Well, next weekend's July 4th, and then it's July 9th.
So 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Me and Ben, si Dios quiere, we're gonna be watching the Astros and the Yankees.
The Yankees.
Shout out to Mandu. Shout out to Mando. Parlay Kid with his bum ass Yankee team, but we'll be out there, so you never know. Mark is going to be at the game too,
for sure. And then Saturday we got the Conor McGregor Dustin Poirier trilogy, the rubber match.
Shut up. We're gonna get lit. We're gonna get lit. So you never know. Hey, maybe we'll do a quick 15-minute, 20-minute, using the phones real quick. A little Facebook Live. We got the Yankee game on Friday. We got the UFC on Saturday. We wanted to go do some golfing.
We gotta find a spot to watch the fights. Yeah, Saturday morning we're gonna golf. We're gonna hit the links. Yeah. Hey,
puro Brooksy y DeChambeau acá.
Hey, Rennie says, "Hey, wait, the best bet segment." Yo, Rennie, if you're on Instagram, or I'm not even on TikTok. I just record the
Twitter, bro.
To come around. But the best bets we usually have on our Instagram and our TikTok page, at least for the podcast, we release one a day, 3 and 1 so far. Myself posting this week. This was the first week that we started. Chingao pendejo me. I should have just taken the Astros all fucking week. I switched it up one day and lost.
Bro, we should have taken the Astros for the last 2 weeks.
The Astros are putting up touchdowns and extra points every week. Sometimes a 2-point conversion.
They're up right now too.
Gotcha. Oh, they're always up because Mark Chapa said how much were the tickets run for the game, and where are you sitting?
A bill. They were like a bill.
Well, we're on the third base or first base.
We're on the third base side, section 109, a little past the dugout area, and they're gonna do. The cool thing about the Friday game, Mark, is that they're going to have a pregame tailgate party starting at 5, and then after the game, they're going to do the firework display. So it's going to be pretty sick. And we were actually getting one more ticket for another family member of ours, and there's still a lot of tickets, available. So if you guys want to go join us at the game, man, we'll go have a beer. And,
hell yeah, and we'll pregame. I know, Ron, we're getting in there Friday around noon, so. For lunch, empezamos, little pregame.
I'm ready, bro. And shout out to Rini too, because we also talk about betting, and we actually do like a Facebook Messenger, and we'll go back and forth. So if you got a Twitter Rini Locks and Leans, and then like Ben was saying, they have their new thing going on. So let's all link up. Let's all stay social and make all these connections, and let's freaking beat the book and make this feria, man.
Hello, yeah. We talking about sports, baby.
We talking about sports. We ain't talking about sports. What we talking about? Chavos.